The reason why people are successful people is because they're making successful choices. And there are unsuccessful people making unsuccessful choices over and over again. So they're both successful in what they do. The difference is between the successful person and making successful choices. Even if you make the wrong choice, it doesn't see that as a failure compared to somebody successfully making the wrong choices.
Do the choices you make on a daily basis lead to successful or unsuccessful outcomes? And are you aware of both? Wouldn't it be great if you could leave your past behind and move forward with a clean slate? Tzachi Ozeri, author of the book FYP, Fuck Your Past, unveils to us the keys to setting yourself free to become the person you aspire to be by overcoming your inner barriers. If you are ready to move forward and genuinely say, fuck the past, have a listen as Tzachi shares with you how changing your focus from victim to taking charge will help reprogram your subconscious and create a new habit for a new reality. Welcome, Tzachi Ozeri. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure. I am very fascinated by your two books, FYP, Fuck Your Past, which I just love the name, and Monk versus Monkey Mind. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are.
Well, I think the reason why I guess in the lost and found for 38 years is probably because of my parents. I created the same path that my parents created for themselves, but not realizing that I'm creating the same path because I did have some goals in my mind, which is taking care of my family, especially my mom and dad. But I didn't have a vision. I didn't have any idea how to get there. Most of the time, I usually tap to somebody else's dream and hopefully become a partner in his business. But it didn't work out because I feel even though they say they don't see a value in me, I realize I don't have value in myself. That's the reason why they couldn't see the value or I didn't do anything when I heard I don't have a value from them. So yeah, this is why.
So based on your past, you grew up in Israel, I believe.
Yeah.
And you came here when?
Came here 2010. I was 28 years old. I felt like, although Israel is a very small country, I felt that it's small for me when it comes to opportunities. So I decided to just make the move. To be honest, I came here for a spontaneous visit to see my family. And I felt this spiritual energy that made me want to come back and started a life in US.
And like all of us, we all have wounds and trauma from our past. But I think that might have been part of what you were alluding to from your life in Israel and growing up and trying to fulfill the dreams your parents wanted for you, rather than your own dreams and desires.
The dream that my parents had is basically the dream that they weren't able to achieve, especially my mom. Because whatever happened with my dad and the reality that appears to them, she wasn't able to finish university. So in her mind, it was very important for us to go to university and get a degree, which she wasn't able to do. She thought that would be the best path for each and one of us, my siblings, which didn't add up to me because her situation at that time emotionally was very difficult and she didn't know how to basically handle her emotions. So it came towards me when things weren't going well for her, especially when we study. So if I had an exam, she used to help me out to learn for the exam. But at the same time, if I wasn't focused or, looking at the TV or doing something else, she used as a tool or a moment to get our aggression out. And that's why I wasn't able to or didn't want to go to university because I didn't want to learn. Like if you have a pet, a dog, and you don't want him to do something and you use a force against him, he probably will not do it and will not try to do it again. And that's the reason why I never tried going to university, because I felt like I can do better. I can learn in life instead of learning in school or learn in university and get a degree and work for something that I don't really want and just because my parents want it.
So you came here, and how did your life unfold here?
So I came here for opportunity in fashion design that created by my uncle. But at the same time, I came here knowing that this opportunity might not be able to be fulfilled, or I can be able to do this. There was a lot of challenging in order to get this position, especially with writing, because at that time, spelling or grammar help wasn't there the way it is now when you have those apps that can help you out to create better grammar for yourself. So emails was part of the work that I was supposed to do, and my email wasn't as good as my conversation with people. So that opportunity basically went to the trash. But at the same time, I came with the mindset that this can happen and I'll find a way to do something else or find something else in order to move forward. Because I knew from day one, I don't want to go back with my tail between my legs.
And how did your life unfold here? What did you learn about yourself? I'm assuming that you got to see a lot through the separation of being away from your family and your country and then trying to make it in the US.
So as you probably know, New York can be very draining. And I got into this whole bubble with using drugs and partying. And that's basically took away my awareness. So I saw things, but I never actually did anything towards it. I felt like, it's just another day in New York, just grinding and moving forward. That's the only key being here. Otherwise, you're not be able to make it. But this mindset, I found myself homeless a few times because of this mindset. Not able to face my fear, not able to face those challenges, wave those challenges, knowing that it's a new day, but still not able to move forward or being stuck in the past.
Where was the shift for you when you now talk about stuck in your past, stuck in the wounds, if we will, again, of your family and having to start to untangle those where you said you didn't feel worthy or didn't feel valued, to what was the trigger for you that, got you on that path?
So it's a good question. There's a lot of triggers along the way, this drug path. But the last one was I basically lost my friends, lost my partnership, lost my girlfriend, and most importantly, lost myself. And at that time, I already wanted to change, but I didn't understand why it keeps happening to me the same result over and over again. So that's when COVID hits, you had so much time for yourself to figure things out and realizing that the path that I had is very similar to my parents. And if I wanted to get out of it, I need to find ways to get out of that path. And that's what basically happened in COVID, which I started to, yes, I did overthinking, but at the same time, I also started to create solutions. I started to read about those books that can help me to overcome those situations and start picking things from those books and trying on myself, which helped me in the end create those two books that you just mentioned in the beginning. Knowing that, let me try this and see if it works, and maybe I can inspire people to do the same thing and make them understand that it's all about choices and what they want from themselves.
Having gone through many years of analysis on a couch to unpack my own issues, I couldn't imagine tapping into all of that on my own because, monkey mind doesn't almost allow for that.
Yeah.
Just curious how you were able to deep dive for yourself.
So it's again another good question, because a lot of people use psychiatrists or going to rehab. So I did not use any one of those tools, not because I didn't have the funds or money or I can ask for my family to help me out with this. I felt like the reason why I was able to do this myself, it's actually because of my parents. Because my parents was able, although they didn't deal the way I was hoping they will with their life, and some of them, and one of them, even my mom's still stuck with the past. The fact that she kept going and trying to figure it out on the way helped me do the same thing. And at that time, I couldn't leave the apartment or I couldn't do anything else. So what else I can do? Just think about it and try to figure out how to move forward. Because as soon as the door is open, which COVID will open for the public, then things might be better for you and maybe it would be easier for you. And that's what basically I did. I had so many questions, and I broke down the question to small question in order for me to be able to answer it instead of just a big question. Why does it work? Went to details, going one by one, is make it as small that I can actually answer and figure it out, the solution.
Was all of this the inspiration for you to write your first book, FYP, Fuck Your Past?
It's kind of a therapy for myself. And I feel if you feel good about what you write and what you share, there's more chances that people can relate to this. And if you can be authentic and real and show people that you are in the same position that they are, they might want to do the same thing. So both of those, for myself and for others, are there when I was creating those books. You can't help nobody else if you don't help yourself. And while you feel comfortable with yourself, helping yourself, you can help others. Otherwise, if you help others from the point that you feel miserable or negative or stuck in the past, either you feel used or you will wait for them to do something for you as well. And if it doesn't come, then you're going to be, oh, why did he not help me? Why did I help them? Why did I did all those things to them and I can't get it back? There's no getting back to me. Just you want to give because you can give, not because you're trying to get something else in return.
What was the moment when you said, I'm going to sit down? Were you a writer before, or you just said one day, I'm going to sit down and put pen to paper and start to write?
So if my mom was not consumed with her life, she might realize that I was a writer a long time ago, because there was some signs there for me being a writer. I also love to write for girls letters, always like to type text instead of calling. So the writing was there, but I just didn't know that I'm going to be a writer, because nobody guided me or nobody told me, oh, maybe you should do this instead of, trying drawing things. There were signs, but in the end of the day, I read 2 books and I thought, man, I can do this myself. Let me try do this. And I had so much in me that it was so easy to put it in a paper or on my phone in order to create those books.
So let's start with the first one. Did you feel some sort of catharsis in writing the first book?
I felt some sort of, I have so much in me, I want to get it out. I felt so much, if I keep it inside of me, I might blow up again and I'm not be able to move forward. The idea of writing it down helped me to release, helped me to understand, and helped me to move forward for my past and accept it or forgive myself and the people that was part of my past.
Give us a little preview of FYP, if you might, of what's in it. What did you accomplish with it? What words of wisdom that you gave to us?
Well, I think I realized later on, especially writing my third book, that freedom or control are illusion. The only thing that we have, or you consider freedom, is the freedom of choice, nothing else. Our body is not for free. We don't know how long we're going to live or stay in this universe. The freedom of speech doesn't exist anymore, because as long as we get backslashes or people that disagree out loud for what we have to say, it's not free anymore. So the idea of the freedom of choice is just something that I do believe that we have. Same with control. We can't control anything. You might drive a car, but you can't control the car in front of you. You can't even control the car if a mechanic thing can happen to the car. No matter if you do the checking in the morning, see if you have oil or if you have fuel, you don't know what's going to happen driving that car.
Right.
Your hands on the steering wheel and you drive with the gas, control the gas, but it's not, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You can be stuck in traffic, you can get into accident, you can get pulled over, and so many things can happen to you. So it's the same with life. You can't control anything besides your choices. It's the only thing that you have power in this world. And that's the only thing that I can give back as a wisdom that I can share.
We only have control over ourselves and our emotions. That's choice, and how we choose to show up. Even we all get triggered, and usually those triggers are from the past. Most of us don't know that. So what happens is when, we get a knee-jerk reaction from a trigger, we go into this state, but it's the child in us that is really feeling that emotion. I mean, I have my own, I'm sure we all do.
We all do, yeah.
So freedom of choice is how we deal with ourselves. That's the only thing we have control over, you're right, is ourselves and how we show up in the world.
Even the emotion that you just pointed out, I think emotion going to pop to our heads any given moment. You can have an emotion. Our choice is how we're going to react to those emotions.
Viktor Frankl, and I don't have his quote, it's on my website. It's all about power and freedom. And it's about having the power to control our emotions and to stop and to, in a split second, make a choice. Where do I go with this? And that's the freedom when you have that power to do that. A lot of people don't know that. You know, we all think we can control life. We can't. We all think we've got this power to control that, but that's not the case.
I'm going to add something else. So success, the reason why people are successful people is because they're making successful choices. And there are unsuccessful people making unsuccessful choices over and over again. So they're both successful in what they do. The difference is between a successful person and making successful choices. Even if you make the wrong choice, it doesn't see that as a failure compared to somebody successfully making the wrong choices. You're going to take it as a lesson curve and try to change it or tweak it in a way that's going to be a successful lesson and move forward compared to somebody that again, successfully making their own choices.
And that's a mindset also, you know, how you turn a failure, if you will, or a choice that didn't go right, that you wanted. And then you say, wait a second, that didn't work, but what did I learn? And how can I move forward with that? This episode is brought to you by Try Coaching. As an executive career business and communications coach, I help clients meet their challenges head on so they can remove the barriers that keep them from optimizing their talents and strengths. Clients reach out when their inner critic or their ego stop them from moving forward when new situations arise, because that inner voice constantly says you will be vulnerable, be careful, you'll be fearful, and that you aren't even worthy, which may result in your life not going anywhere. You can learn more about me at trycoaching.com, and you can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And here's an important fact. Did you know that every successful person has had a coach? Why not you? Why not now? Let's start a conversation. One chapter you have is what makes you really happy. Was that for you, or was that just in general?
No, it's a question that I think all of us should ask ourselves, because to be honest, I met a girl the other day. She was working in a place that I was ordering food. And I asked her, I don't know how we got to the conversation, but she said she's not happy. And I asked her why. She said, people doesn't appreciate me here or don't value. I told her it's not their fault. The reason that they don't value you is because you don't value yourself. Because if you value yourself, you're probably not going to be staying working where you are, and you figured out what you love to do, what makes you happy. But you still don't know what makes you happy, so you are stuck where you are right now. And that's the reason why I'm saying this question, because you should figure it out, what makes you happy, in order to get out of from what's not making you happy right now. If it's a work, if it's a relationship, if it's friendship, whatever it is, what's stopping you from living them? What's stopping you from moving forward? And that's the question that you need to ask yourself. What makes you happy? At the end of the day, happiness is a choice. And I'm not just saying that. People are going to go crazy when I'm saying that, because you wake up in the morning, it's a new day. Whatever happened yesterday, if you take this emotion to the next day, it's on you. You can be happy the next day. It's a choice.
It's a choice to shift your mindset. And I don't think a lot of people really know what makes them happy. If only I get the big house, that's going to do it for me. and then they get the big house. And then it's, oh, if only I get the Mercedes Benz, if only, if only, if only. But there never comes a point where they stop. It's always if only. Everyone has their own idea of what happiness means. For me, it's inner peace. I didn't grow up with that. So if I could achieve that, which I have, everything else will fall into place. It's nothing monetary that I want to say that's going to make me happy. So it's a shift.
It's a shift, but let me make something to the audience, or give a tip to the audience.
Please
share this. There's a difference between existing and life. Existing, it's all about need. I need to nurture my body. I need a car. I need a house. I need a clothes, and the list go on and go on. When you choose life, it's all about mission. It's all about purpose. It's all about serving. And when you get to tap into those things, then those needs still going to be there, but it's not going to be as needy as it used to be when you didn't have the idea of what's your purpose here, what's your service here, what's you understanding what you love to do. And that's the difference between life and existing. And that's the reason why people, feel stuck or are unhappy with their life right now.
Yes, I definitely kind of agree on that. I mean, purpose and mission gives somebody fulfillment within. However, what the question I ask is, if you don't have the basics, at the food chain, there's the top, there's the bottom of food, shelter, clothing, and then you go up the ladder to the very top. I'm not sure it's easy to find peace, fulfillment, if you don't have the bottom.
Terry, if it was easy, we will stay in heaven, not be in earth. And the reason why here, it's sorry to say, but struggle is part of our.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
It's also what shaped us. So just because I'm happy today doesn't mean I'm not struggling. Doesn't mean that I don't have challenging every day. Because I have a purpose, those challenges has less meaning than it will to somebody that doesn't have any purpose in life. And it will be hard for him to choose happiness because of that, because he's in a place that he is very robotic in a way, doing what's need to be done, what's necessary just to put food on the table. That's not what's going to make you happy. And there are rich people that are happy, and there are poor people that are happy. There are rich people that are unhappy, and there are rich people and poor people that aren't happy. It's just a mindset, and to work on the mindset, yes, it takes time. It's not going to be one day practice. It's going to take time. It took me a lot of time, 4 years, and I'm still working on myself for my happiness. But I'm getting better at it, and I want it. You need to want it. You need to know that you're sacrificing something in order to get it. Sacrifice is part of transition in life. What you're willing to sacrifice. Is it friendship? Is it the time with somebody? In order to work on yourself, so be able to have the time of the world to be with those people again.
I appreciate what you're saying totally. I mean, certainly, I call them challenges. I mean, certainly I went through many, many challenges, and that shaped me into who I am today. So yes, challenges do shape us when we know we have to go through them, when we get through them, right? And then move on to whatever. Sure, we all have challenges. Life is not smooth sailing, but it's being willing to accept the challenges and go through them. That's a choice. So talk a little bit about monk versus monkey mind. A lot of people might not understand that. That's your second book, right?
Yeah, that's my second book. So I think all of my book is kind of my reality show inside of a book, to be honest. And when I was able to move forward from my past, or accepting it, or whatever you want to call it, I guess a sentence or stories that's stuck in your head, and starting to understand why are they stuck in your head? Why are we overthinking those thoughts or those stories or those sentences in my head? And I felt each one of them had a story, and that's what I describe in my book. I also realizing that the reason why I have the thought is the subconscious, that it's having the old habits. So using the conscious mind in order to create new habits, it's part of this book as well. It's part of my transition, it's part of my understanding, and starting using the conscious mind to be able to see a bigger picture in life than what I used to, be aware of things.
So monkey mind is all the chatter that goes on, I'm going to just guess here, is the chatter that goes on up in your mind versus a monk mind, which is just void of anything, so to speak.
Yeah, stillness. Monkey mind is like more stillness. It just breathes easily, create the game of life slower, understanding those thoughts, either try to shut them down or find a solution to not think those thoughts anymore, or accepting those thoughts and pushing them out from ear to another ear. And basically that's what monk versus monkey mind means.
And would you recommend people meditate or do some kind of sitting that can help them still the mind a little bit?
Yeah. So before we meditate, I think breathing practice would be very good to people that want to start meditation, because stillness is something that be challenging for us to do on a daily basis. To find the time to even meditate sometimes feel difficult. There are ways, as I described to you before, sleep meditation. I think it's a very good tool to those who aren't able to fit time for meditation. That you don't need much. You just need to create a playlist that you can put it towards the night and put the speaker next to your bed and enjoy a meditation. And you're going to feel better after 30 days or even less, depending on your mind and how overthinking you are or how monkey mind you have at that time. Hot yoga. I think hot yoga is something that forces you to become still. And if you somebody like me that has so much aggression or walk fast or do things fast, hot yoga helps you to focus on yourself. And when it's so stressed and so hot and you need to do postures to find some sort of stillness to be able not to be dizzy or want to complete a full session of hot yoga.
I have been studying Buddhism for many, many, many years. And when I suggest to people, why don't you just sit for a few minutes? People have a hard time being with themselves and the yada, yada, yada in the mind. You know, they'll sit and say, oh my God, I can't do this. Because even though we sit, we can hear or get in touch with that yada, yada, yada that's there. And eventually that yada, yada, yada starts to dissipate if you don't pay attention to it. The problem is we all get hooked on that inner voice and have a hard time separating from that.
The reason why you're probably going to have a challenging time to step out of those thoughts is most likely because there is a pattern between you and your parents and the trauma when you were a child. So figuring out what is the trauma is what's holding you from able to stay stillness or to overcome the thought or let it go. Because sometimes I have a lot of thought in my mind. What I say to myself is I forgive myself for thinking that thought and move forward. But might not help to everybody. You might need to just figure out something like this that can help you to just let the thought go and forgive that thought even to come into your mind. But again, it's a lot of practice, and it's a lot of, I think not a lot. It's just a matter of how much do you want it? How much do you want to change where you are right now? And when you dedicating for change, whatever you just described, it's going to be there, but it's going to disappear very easily and very quickly.
And that's key to what I'm going to just repeat. You have to want it really badly. You have to want to create the change to get to the other side, because there's no way getting around it other than through it. And you have to be willing to do the work to get to the other side.
True, but I'm going to stop you 1 second there, because I feel like words are very powerful. And if you're going to use the word have to, then might create a stress in your mind.
Right, you're right. Make a choice.
Make a choice. Don't stop using have to and need to.
Absolutely, I agree.
Because that's when things still going to be hard for you. And you might quit in one point. It's going to be 2 days after, a week after, or a year after. You might quit because you keep saying it's hard, it's hard. When you're doing it from a place of a joy, love, and wanted to or should do, that's different. Then you're not going to feel stressed, and it might be even fun for you to keep doing it over and over again.
That's one perspective. I certainly didn't have that perspective going through many years of breaking down the walls, so to speak. However, everyone has their own experience. So you have a new book. I don't know if you finished it, The Tree of Life.
Yeah. So it is finished. It's in on design stages right now. So I feel like it will be probably out around summertime. So I'm very excited because this is actually all about childhood and the similarity between me and my mom and my parents in general, but especially with my mom, because I was very close to my mom when things happen. So yeah, it's a very special book for me because I just realized a lot of things and was able to step out of this circle that we have in our family and progress in a better way.
Well, I'm going to have to meet you again and get a signed copy of your new book.
Sure, anytime.
What do you hope your legacy to be?
My hope is one day to be able to walk the street and give a choice to somebody who asks me for $1. I can give you $10 or I can help you out to make a change. And in order for me to do so, my network should be big, my wealth should be enough, and that I'll be able to have the tools to actually give this abilities or create a change in people's life in a physical way, not just in reading or doing just Zoom calls or interviews, actually physically do something.
I love that. Really creating change where you can make an impact and a difference.
Yeah. I want to give value to those who are basically in the same place that I was a few years ago when I didn't feel valued, or someone that cannot understand that the value is inside of them. So I'm hoping by having those tools or network or wealth can help me to help them to make those right choices and figure this out.
You have said so many words of wisdom. Are there a few nuggets that you can leave our audience with, maybe 2 or 3 that might sum up our conversation today?
I think if you're somebody who are stuck like I was a few years ago, taking responsibility is something that is very crucial to able to move forward. Because in the end of the day, if you feel cheated, used, or any other of those feelings, emotions, I feel taking responsibility of you being there in the situation, if it's a relationship or if it's work, you felt comfortable, you never left. So you can point fingers at anybody else, but at the end of the day, you stay there. You could have lived in any second of the day, but you stayed there. You tried to fix things. You thought you can change things when you were supposed to change yourself. And taking responsibility is initial.
I love that. Taking responsibility for yourself, believing in yourself, standing in your authentic power. I have so enjoyed this conversation, and 2 great books for any of you that want to read Tzachi's life stories, FYP, Fuck Your Past, and Monk versus Monkey Mind. 2 really interesting books that can help somebody on their road to creating change for themselves. Thank you so much. I truly have enjoyed this. It's been very enlightening and very informative and very inspiring. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Sure, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
I hope that this compelling and extraordinary conversation with Tzachi Ozeri has offered you thoughts on how you can create your own changes by making choices that matter to you. Reviews are important as it encourages people to listen to my podcast and lets all the platforms know, such as Apple, Spotify, iHeart, and Amazon, that this podcast is reputable. So if you enjoyed this, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and review. Thank you. For related content on extraordinary work, please visit my website, trycoaching.com. Always remember, when you work with passion and purpose, your work can become extraordinary. Did you know that communication skills are one of the key factors used in being hired by a company, or for that matter, in any interaction? My next guest, Meredith Bell, co-founder and president of Grow Strong Leaders, which publishes software tools and books that help people build strong relationships at work by offering ways to improve your communication skills. This episode offers you a chance to review your own communication skills and see where you might need to improve.